Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. That fast. So to those of you watching the replay, I want to say special Thanksgiving thank you message incoming. But for the folks that are joining, those that can't, I appreciate you as well, because I know the YouTube's notification system is spotty at best. And some people are like, I never get the notifications. I've given up trying to figure it out because a lot of people don't get it. Some people do, some people don't. I don't know what YouTube's doing. You know, it's kind of interesting. A few years ago, started this shorts community group, and they sent out invitations to a bunch of YouTubers. Because I got an invitation too, and it was cool because it was like you get a manager and you get a it's exclusive sessions, and I'm like, this is gonna be great. Maybe find out what's behind this mysterious YouTube algorithm you always hear about. And so I started attending sessions, and I was kind of underwhelmed, honestly, with and instead of the YouTube person saying, here's how it works, here's how to make the most of it, which is kind of what I wanted, it was just can talk about what works for them. So I was like, okay, and all of them everything was different. Well, I post after 3, and that always works for me. Somebody else will be like, oh, I only post before 10, or I only post Wednesdays, or I only post. So everybody had this, all these things that they do. And so at the end of the day, it's like, well, what, nothing's working for me. That's like a magic, bullet, so to speak. My hair just absolutely out of control today. Try to get it a little more normal. See this calic? This has been the bane of my hair existence since I was a kid. I've actually got one here, and then a couple back there. Oh my. But anyway, I was just kind of like, man, I wish there was like more specific information about this darn algorithm and how it works. But there wasn't any specific information. So, some people really like that group, and I, more power to them. But I didn't really glean anything from it that was super vital, and I'm still just as mystified by it all as you. So one thing we about as a YouTuber is consistency, frequency, and then you use your analytic. I just finished the parade. I thought I just finished it. I mean, are they rebroadcasting it, or I was going to do a live reaction during it, but then it ended, to my eyes, on the live that I was watching about a half hour ago. I saw Santa Claus, I saw the Macy's logo, and then the street sweepers, and it was done. So I don't know. And then I also heard that it was going for another hour and a half. So I'm not sure. By the way, I guess Louis, I forget it. I'm just not even going to try anymore. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody, to those of you that are in the live and those that aren't. Fast Hunter, Old Radios, Kyle, welcome in. Greetings, fellow record collector friends. I am doing exceptionally well. And I said at the very beginning of the video for people watching the replay that I wanted to just kind of express my thanks in a specific way. So, oh, thank you, Kyle. To you as well. Thank you so much. I wanted to, before we talk, I got a lot of record stuff and updates and things to chat with, and anything you guys want to bring up as well. But I wanted to specifically get on here today. I woke up and my heart was very full of gratitude. And beyond just the sort of gratitude that one would sort of normally have on a Thanksgiving or any given day, but specifically this year, God has been exceptionally good to me because I didn't want to dwell on those topics. They weren't really evergreen topics, but I wanted to provide sort of a core group update. And, if you're watching the live or the replay, you are in sort of an inner circle of Record-ology, because not everybody watches this. We have nearly 50,000 subs. Can't believe it, as of the filming of this today. And most people are just here for the record player content, and that it's transactional. They're like here for the record players. They don't care about me, not that they should, but they don't care about anything beyond point the camera at the technology and I'm moving on with my life. And that's fine. That's the bulk of viewers. But then there's this inner group of people, this inner circle that care beyond that, and they want to have a relationship, they want to communicate, they want to chat, and those are usually the people that join the lives. So if you're hearing this, then you're already in that inner group because you care enough to join the live. So for that, I want to say thank you. But also, I want to, knowing that we are sort of the inner circle here, select group of folks, I wanted to kind of touch on what I've been through this year, something that's been on my heart. I always feel that if I go through hardships, I want it to be for something beyond my own edification. And, more than just, I go through a hard time, I emerge, and I'm thankful for emerging. But I want to be able to help others, even if it's just encouragement, even if it's, in some form or fashion, edifying somebody else based on my experience. Windows wants a update. I'm not going to do that right now. So about a year ago, just to recap briefly without going into too much detail, a little over a year ago, October of 23, I had acute appendicitis, of course, emergency surgery. I'd never had surgery before. And in fact, I was very apprehensive about all things medical. I had a lot of medical stuff as a kid. I was an asthmatic. I went through a lot of non-surgically invasive medical stuff as a kid. And because of that, I developed a PTSD to medical things. And so going into the dentist, going to the doctor was harder for me than with a lot of people. And so the idea of surgery was sort of the most scary thing I could think of for me personally. Well, there I was, acute appendicitis. There's no choice. You're going into surgery. And I remember thinking to myself, still can't shut it off. I have to have them. They used to be able to turn them off, but then about a year ago, they stopped letting creators turn it off. So in the midst of what would and should have been like one of the most triggering things I've been through in my life, I felt a strange peace and calm. I'm a man of faith, and I attribute that to God saying, okay, I've got you. It's going to be fine. And went through the surgery, went fine, recovered, got through it. That was a huge achievement. I'm like, wow, I actually made it through a surgery. I can do this now. I know what it's like to be, anesthesia. I know what all that's like. And then I get a call a few days later from my doctor saying, you've got cancer. And as you can imagine, this broke me. And that was the scariest thing I've ever heard. He said we found cancer cells in the appendix, and we think that they're coming from the colon. And sorry for the buffering too, guys. And I thus began a chapter of my life that was the scariest thing I've ever been through. Even beyond just the surgery was now small in my mind. And so like, well, we're going to try and get it out surgically. No need to worry yet. And that's what tell me, you know what I mean? Like, and by the way, have a wonderful holiday season. So last holidays was spent with that sort of looming over me. And again, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but come February, had to have a colonoscopy and a large part of my colon removed in the hopes of just sort of getting that whatever it was, and sort of take out this much so that, if there's a minute amount. And that was major surgery, and my abdomen is scarred up like you can't believe. And so got through it again. And this is not only the grace of God, but family support, like you can't imagine. My wife, Mrs. Record-ology, an incredible angel to me in levels that supersede anything you can imagine. Was right by my side, literally every moment through this entire thing. And recovery, this is a harder surgery, obviously a longer one. And I get a call a week later from my doctor again. And this time he says, your lymph nodes, I think they took a sample of 25. 2 of them had cancer cells in them still. It was a goblet cell carcinoma. By the way, cancer of the appendix, very rare. And the goblet cell itself was also rare. Luckily, it was a slow growing one. Now, I don't know if this has been in me for years, months, whatever, what the cause was, still undetermined. So that meant that it was chemotherapy. And that meant I had to get a port in. I used to think, I remember seeing like people with ports, it was like these little plastic things sticking out. They don't do it like that anymore. It's subclavian. I guess a clavian is a subclavian is a vein that delivers drainage of some sort of blood drainage, but they put the port under the skin. So I had to go in for another surgery to have the port put in. And that port was a little metal bump under here with a rubber membrane. And then it has a catheter that goes across to absolutely, Douglas. That's after what I've been through this year, I'm not holding back anymore. Not that I really was, but I'm going to be outspoken about it. So they put that in, that was fine, and then I started chemo. And the chemo was, it went, is okay to start with. It was slow to start. Then I slowly just started feeling the deterioration. Again, not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but by the third treatment, I was feeling pretty rough. And I was still doing Record-ology, and I still wasn't bringing it up really on the channel. But you might have seen me detect. There was even a couple of videos I did with my pump, because you have to be set. They put a certain amount of medicine in you while you're sitting there for a few hours, and then you go home with a pump that's still attached with a I don't know what you call them, but tubes or whatever. And it made a little sound. So there's a couple of videos I actually filmed while I had the pump, so you can hear like this little mechanical every once in a while. And anyway, so I went through that, and then on the third treatment, I had a bad reaction. I was sitting in the living room, and all of a sudden I couldn't breathe in. And I've had asthma. I've had hospitalized asthma my entire life, so I'm no stranger to restricted breathing. I've had asthma doctors tell me, I don't know how you're standing right now. My airwaves have been so compromised and damaged throughout the years that I've never had a full lung of air. That being said, I couldn't breathe in at all. It was like trying to breathe through a coffee stirrer. So tight and so small. I could breathe out, but I couldn't breathe in. Because being an asthmatic, I had albuterol in hand. So my wife gave me albuterol. We called 911. The albuterol opened up my airways, and they took me to the ER, because it was a serious deal. And this is on the day of my third infusion. So I had just gotten home from the hospital when this happened. And while en route, actually, when we arrived at the ER, the EMT was cutting off it was disconnecting things that they had, because they had an EKG on me and stuff, and accidentally ripped out my infusion hose. Now, when they hook you up to the infusion, they're in biohazard suits, literally. You can't get this stuff on you. It's toxic. No wonder it does a number on not the cancer cells only, but on other things. Your hair starts thinning out. You start getting neuropathy in your fingertips, among other things. There's a lot of side effects. Started very slow. At first, I'm like, oh, I could totally do this. But by the third week, it was rough. So much so that even after the fact, I was like, wow, that was worse. Now in contrast, feeling so good, it was amazing by contrast what I had felt like. So anyway, they disconnected it by accident. It was dripping all over the place. And it was a God thing, 100%, because come to find out, they determined that it was a reaction to the infusion chemicals. So if they hadn't accidentally disconnected me, I probably would have had more problems. That being said, after several hours, I was sent home, temporarily taken off the chemo, went back in with my oncologist, and he's like, this was more preventative than anything, because surgically, we believe we did get all the cancer cells. In fact, we know we did. The fact that it touched your lymph nodes, the lymph nodes that it did touch were the ones right by the cancer cells in the colon. Therefore, they probably didn't travel, and therefore the chemo is preventative. I think this is similar to, well, I don't want to speculate, but anyhow, so he said, you know what, let's keep you off of the chemo, and which I was, hallelujah for that. but let's monitor you. So every 3 months, blood tests. They do like a DNA, not DNA, but like it's beyond a regular blood test. It's like something they track. Maybe there's DNA in it, but it's a very detailed thing. And CAT scans. And so for the next year, every 3 months, and I had my first follow-up blood test and CAT scan about 3 weeks ago. Both came back negative, no evidence of disease, no cancer. I am cancer free by the grace of God. And I have to keep doing those tests preventatively. So through that was all the physical stuff that happened. And I'm so sorry, Al, that it's buffering. I don't know what the deal is. I'm so sorry about that. Thank you for hanging in there if you can hear anyway. But I wanted to just say that I'm incredibly grateful this year. I've learned to live in the moment. I have learned that what's really valuable to me is being in the moment, right here, right now, what I'm doing right now. This is my life right now, right here. Tomorrow is no guarantee. Next month, next year, next Christmas, there may not be one. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a 50 of them, hopefully. But the point is that I had to change my mind. It's the power of now, Robert. Yes. It's such an incredible, fundamental change that I've gone through. I used to live tomorrow. I used to live for the future. I used to live for what's around the corner, what's coming up next. And that meant that, like, if I was on a vacation, I was counting down till, how many days we had left, how many days till Christmas left, how many days till my birthday, how many days till summer or whatever, anything positive. And conversely, negatively, if there was something I had to do that I wasn't looking forward to, I was obsessive in my, panic and fear of anticipation. Hey, Scott, Harry, everybody. And so I've really changed the whole methodology from that to being in the moment, because there were times I didn't know if I'd have it tomorrow. I also had to go in for another procedure after the main colon thing where they did the right hemicolectomy. I had an abscess form and I became very, very ill and was rushed to the ER again, and was in there for a long time. And again, I've not made a big deal of it on the channel because I don't want to I didn't want the channel's always been a happy place. I've always wanted the channel to be a peaceful, respite from the stress. And in fact, it was birthed out of a stressful time. We were caretaking an elderly relative, and we were living in terrible places, ERs and hospices and things. And I needed a very like a total happy place to be, and that's why I formed the channel. It's grown into so much more. But I've learned to live in them now. I've learned that the people I love, my friends, you guys, my family, most of all, my beautiful wife, are the most important things in existence. All the junk, all the turntables, the records, the pieces of plastic is just junk in comparison. Not that I'm not thankful for the physical things, the objects, and I am grateful because I know a lot of people don't have those, and I've been one of those people before. But in comparison to waking up and feeling good, not having your abdomen feeling like it's unsure, not feeling like it feels like to be on chemotherapy, I have emerged with a completely heightened sense of my own, not mortality. You may think I was going to say mortality. I think I had plenty of sense of that. But my own just gratitude for being in the now, how blessed I am, how little we control our destiny, that God is really in control of that. But the control that we do have in terms of our attitude, our gratitude, and our joy. And I'm going to finish with this, and then we're going to go on to record player stuff. I read something not too long ago that summed up what I had learned over the past year. And if I can impart this to any of you, I would say this is my message that I want everybody to learn. If my life is worth anything, it is to impart some sort of good into the world. And here is The most important the most important thing is to have a relationship with Christ. The second most important thing is this. Your mind, whether you like it or not, whether you're trying to or not, is at all times running synapses, processes, and validations on your belief system. And you may be saying, what? Let's stick with me on this. If you believe you are going to have a bad day or a good day, if you believe that everything you do is doomed or everything you do has possibility, if you believe that everyone's against you or everyone is rooting for you, if you believe that you can, if you believe that you can't, whatever it is you choose to believe, and that's the choice, is you choose the belief. Whatever you choose to believe, your mind will automatically, without your permission and without your authorization, validate and seek validation on those beliefs. Therefore, if you wake up and say, this is going to be a great day, this is going to be a great day, I'm not saying bad things won't happen, but you will, I guarantee it, have a lot better chance of having a great day if you wake up thinking you're going to have a great day, because your mind is going to be looking for evidence of that. It's going to be saying, wow, breakfast was really good today. This is a beautiful, look at the sky, look at the clouds, such a beautiful day. I feel good today. And this works if you're on your deathbed. I presume, praise God, I haven't been on mine that I know of. If you're feeling miserable, if you're feeling loss, if you're feeling anger, if you're feeling gratitude, if you're feeling anything, if you're feeling happiness and joy in all this, your mind will validate your belief system. That's it. So make sure that you control what that belief system narrative is. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I love you all so much. Transitioning now into record player stuff. So a couple of things. I've been listening to this. By the way, I kept the vertical record player. I put it up on my bookshelf. I've got a bookshelf here with CDs, videos, tapes, etc. And on the top, sort of a mishmash of things. And I'm like, where can I put this record player? I don't need another record player. I'm so blessed to have many. We'll continue giving away. We'll continue doing giveaways. We'll continue just donating things. And on top of that, I still have, because we review stuff, so there's going to be products around. This is one that I was like, I really want to keep. It's not the best sounding thing, like I said, but at the same time, it's so dang cool looking, and it's unlike anything else I've got. So, but I don't have any room for another record player. But I made room for this. It sits on top of the bookshelf now. It's beautiful. Doesn't sound as good as other record players, but it's good. It's a lot of fun. So the last couple of days, this has been the record of choice. I don't know if you've seen this before, this record. If you were in the 80s and 90s, even the 70s, you will know this, the Rankin Bass classic Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And by the way, I guess SeaWorld has these characters in person, which is really, really cool. But this is the soundtrack. And what's really neat about it is that they've divided up the wow, I got a stain on there. That's gross. Pay no attention to the gross stain. They've got it divided up so the vocal recordings from the show are on one disc, or on one side, and then the instrumentals are on the other side. And on top of that, they've got the lyrics so you can sing along. I don't know if this was a re-release of a classic recording, but it's got the vintage Decca branding on there. Exactly, my childhood as well. I've got the Blu-ray of this. It's kind of too much resolution because you can see the paper. You can see the seams of the cardboard in the background and the pieces of masking tape holding it together and the strings and stuff. It's like too high of resolution. That being said, this is incredible stuff. One of my favorite is even more than this. My favorite Rankin Bass Christmas one is the. I should have brought it over here. Let's see if I can see it on the shelf. It's the one about the story of Santa Claus. Santa Claus Came to Town, I think is what it's called. But anyway, yeah, this is it's got the classic Decca pressing, mono. Decca mono say long play 33 at the top, and the stereo say stereophonic. Burl Ives, what a voice. And an amazing career. You'll see a lot of Burl Ives records at thrift stores. He's an amazing folk singer. So anyway, I've been playing this on the vertical turntable this morning. I kind of had it playing as I was getting ready for the show today. And also last night, I had it playing on, I don't know if you guys remember, it's quite a while ago. It was after we moved to Florida, but it was, I think it's called the Victrola Liberty. We bought a Victrola Liberty to review. And it's got the legs, and it's although it sits like 30 inches off the floor, he's still, it's like, I think it's miniaturized, because I don't think that's how tall a floor standing record player would be back mid-century era, late 50s, early 60s, which is the style, the design. It's very basic. I mean, it's a turntable, and it's got Bluetooth in. There's no tape, there's no CD, but it looks good. It's got a good kind of mid-century look. Ceramic cartridge, Skywind mechanism. That being said, it's kind of nice to have on. So I've been playing that on that as well. Sounds good when you're, it's near the kitchen. So if I'm in the kitchen or whatever, it's kind of nice to have music playing like that. But yeah, the vertical turntable is fun. And it's interesting. It doesn't surprise me, the comments. Anytime I stray from typical record players, people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's a novelty, it's junk," and all of everything's it's Chinese and all this stuff. That's so awful. So that was predictable. That being said, if you got your hands on this thing, for $1,100, I'm not guessing a ton of people will. I would not spend $1,100. I would not, absolutely not. It is high quality though. And maybe it's low run, like it's you buy, like there'll be people that are like super into Back to the Future or super into Star Trek, and they'll have like these super realistic models, high quality toys, but they're mega expensive. And I attribute that to like probably not being mass produced. There being a lower production run of them probably drives up the cost significantly. So I attribute that to the vertical turntable. Also, the quality of materials are very, very high. It's very heavy, very, very heavy duty. The metal grill is legit. Like it looks like like a car part. It's like super rugged. It's heavy, and it's not aluminum even. I think it's like, I don't know. Is it steel? Maybe it's aluminum. It's super heavy. The thing is heavy, heavy, heavy. All metal. The acrylic platter, the carbon fiber tone arm. Do you guys think carbon fiber is a bit of not a scam, but do you think it's overrated? I'm just like, carbon fiber? Maybe for the people that have what they call the golden ear, they can hear beyond anything we can hear. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's an interesting thing. It's interesting. I'll just say that. So. The being listening turntables in the moment. RT81 Plus on the left sounds so good, so beautiful. Duke Audio preamp is still rocking it. Over on the right, I've still got the LP70X Bluetooth. I have very limited space right here because I've got my desk has a second level thing, so there's very limited vertical space. So only a couple of turntables fit in here, and this is one of them. That being said, it's still kind of tight fit. For the fully automatic. Then up here for the stacker, I've got the SLB5 Technics from the early 80s and the Fluence IB40 isolation platform. I am planning on doing another video on this, testing the mechanical vibrations. A lot of people said that what I was showing with the Jurassic Park water rings thing was probably more from air vibrations, which is which would explain why it wasn't demonstrating as well the potential benefits of that. But that being said, I think it's worth another one. Hold on one second here, you guys. So we'll see. So that's rocking up there. I was listening to some. I got that Bing Crosby Songs I Love box set. I think it was a Reader's Digest or a Time Life set. I think it was Time Life. And no, it's Reader's Digest, I think. I don't know. But I've been listening to that on the changer off and on throughout the week. Really, really love it. Thank you, Joel, my friend. Lori, everybody. Control Platt, welcome in. And I'm just grateful for all of you. You guys are awesome. And yeah, old radios. What's going on with your? What's your dad doing? Yeah, I'm just incredibly grateful this year. I'm always grateful, but back really quickly. The last thing I promise is the biggest kryptonite to fear is gratitude. Truth. If you're afraid, if you're trying to drive out fear, if you're fighting fear and anxiety, change your mind into a gratitude-filled mind. And how do you do that? Just start thinking about things you're grateful for. If you can't think of anything, try harder, because I guarantee you there. You can be in a hospital bed and be grateful. Start at your toes. I'm thankful my feet feel okay today. I'm thankful my stomach is full, that I had lunch. I'm thankful there's a roof over my head. If you do those things, and if you really spend time focusing on that, all of a sudden your mind chemistry will change and your fear gone. I'm not an expert in this, but I have had to figure it out for my own self. Take the dust cover off to test vibrations. It catches sounds. Okay, good to know. I'll take that feedback. Appreciate it. What else is going on? So if you are collecting the 45 adapters, where is it? I swear I got it. There it is. Okay, I was like, I went and found it because I never have it when I bring it on. Gratitude does work wonders, Paul. The exclusive color right now is cranberry sauce. Look how it's like a matte finish. It really does look like a cranberry sauce. I was toying with the idea of, wouldn't it be kind of funny to make the ridges on the side like the can of cranberry sauce? But this is the exclusive color we got going on right now. There has been a thought process to continue this through Christmas or to roll it off in place of to make room for the new color. And because you guys are on the inside circle, guys and gals, and I appreciate you, I'm so glad you're here, you get a sneak peek. I know this is a big deal. Seriously, though, I do want to give you a sneak peek. I got a fresh, brand new, unopened, well, it's open because it comes in shrink wrap, unused reel of PLA. Oh, yes. This means only one thing. It's time for a new adapter color. It's Christmas tree color. So, ta-da! We're doing Christmas tree next. This is a satin finish. As you can, I think it says it somewhere. Silk finish. PLA green silk. This is a PLA finish that we've used before. Whereas the cranberry sauce is more of a matte finish. This is got some sheen to it, a little semi-gloss going on. And so, yeah, we're going to do a Christmas tree adapter exclusive color, and that will be starting in December, which is right around the corner. Do I have the other style? Okay. No, I don't have the other. So we're going to do it in both styles. The solid secondary style, put it up here, it's easier to see. And then the original style as well. So be on the lookout for that. You guys want both? Should we do both and extend it? We even talked about bundling them, like doing a Christmas pack with the red and the green. But the problem with that is we don't want to, the folks that have already purchased this, we don't want them to feel like they missed out on the double pack. But this is coming for sure. So stay on the lookout. Haven't run any tests yet, so we got to start running the tests. Also, don't forget that the Seberg adapter in the exclusive yellow, Record-ology yellow, is still available. So if you have any records with a 2-inch hole, namely Seberg records, you can pick one of those up. It's a solid design, and I think it'll work good. My slip mat keeps sticking to my records. Slim Shady, are you the real Slim Shady? Please stand up. What kind of dust cover or slip mat is it? What kind of slip mat? What material is it? Is it felt? Is it felt? If it is felt, it's probably sticking from static that it builds up. And static, especially this time of year, is one of the banes of the existence of vinyl lovers. That doesn't really make sense, but you know what I mean. Okay, yeah. So he says it's felt. So basically it's static electricity. So the trick is you got to deal with the static. How do you deal with the static? The best way to run and static builds up. Like the more you play it, it's supercharging that thing with static, and then its static clings to it. I've noticed that starting to happen more too to this one with the felt one I was just showing you. So I would recommend just looking at ways to diminish static. When you get a record wet, first of all, there's a zero stat gun thing you can point at it, and it's kind of an expensive accessory. I've never had one. That's one way to do it. And when you wash your records with a wet solution or even sink water, whatever, oh my gosh, did you say sink water? No, distilled water, of course, distilled only. But distilled, any kind of water will run off static from a record. You can also use carbon fiber brushes, diminish static as well. These are kind of cool because I've had some records. This is an Ortophone one. I've had some records. Let's see if I can show the logo. Yeah. I've had some records that have a spindle that is grounded. And when you put this on there and you run it towards the center, and the second it touches the spindle, here's a reenactment. I happen to have a spindle here because it's removable in the SLB5. So you're going across the record surface, and as soon as you touch it to the spindle, you'll hear a little zap, like zzz, or a little pop, and it literally drains out the static. So that's one way. Also, there's carbon fiber stylus brushes like this. That's a tight packed, this is a Crosley one, tight packed bunch of carbon fibers. And my preferred method, this is Hudson Hi-Fi brand solution. It's an anti-static solution with a little mascara brush. And this is a wet clean. And you, again, back to front, wipe it back to front. And it runs off the static, cleans any junk on there. I've actually ran out of the original solution. I've got an anti-static, just a spray-on cleaner I filled this back up with. And I think even regular water would work just fine. But that, again, the moisture runs off the static. Do those things as well. If there's any way to add a little bit of humidity to your air. Also, another thing that I have happen a lot to me, I don't know if anybody else has this, but this happens with magnetic tape. It happens with records. I'll hear like a pop, and then the sound will diminish. It'll come, and then it'll slowly increase. Then there's another pop, gets quiet again, and then slowly increases. And yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. But I'm looking over this one because it's doing this to me this week. But it's a winter thing. I noticed it in Colorado a lot, but even here, where it's currently 61% humidity, it happens. It's like the air dries out a little bit, and during the wintertime, it's a battle for sure. Lawrence says, and by the way, I'm comments. I know I'm lacking on the comments, so I'm gonna try and get caught up, and I'm gonna try and go back in no particular order. What is your favorite album ever? That's really hard to say because it changes all the time. At a point in time, the Patsy Cline debut album over there was my favorite, and it still is one of my favorites. It just depends. It totally depends. Right now, one of my absolute favorites is this. I bought this week. It's the soundtrack to Wicked. I did a little video on it. If you like, oh, I saw that. Isn't that where they have the interviews and they're crying all the time? Forget that. Go see the movie. If you're a Wizard of Oz fan, it doesn't matter if you've seen the original musical. That's good too. I haven't seen it, but I've listened to the music. My wife got to see it, the Broadway traveling version, when it came out. But this movie is it's phenomenal. It's really phenomenal. Even this is one of those things that transcends. Like before I went to this movie, I was like, and we saw it Thursday, a week ago, actually. So it was like Thursday, which is weird because I think it didn't come out till Friday, but somehow we had tickets on Thursday. But what's weird is I went into this being like, yeah, it's probably going to be good, but I don't think I would want to own the soundtrack. I came out of it like I must acquire the soundtrack. And it was that day, it was still unavailable. So last Friday is when this released. I picked up a copy. Now they have a bunch of different versions. They've got, this is the black vinyl version, $39 on Amazon. This is the cheapest vinyl version. They have picture discs. They have green and pink Splatter. They've got a green splatter exclusive. They got a pink splatter exclusive. There's like 5 versions, but they're all like $100 except for the plain black version. And I'm like, well, I'm really wanting it for the sound quality, so I don't really. I mean, I'm always loving picture discs. And they can sound great. They really can. That being said, I believe that a black vinyl record or even a color vinyl record would sound better. So I was fine with that. But check out this gatefold. Isn't that the coolest thing? Let me back up so you can see it. It's incredible. The movie is incredible. The music is phenomenal. So this has been one of my favorite records recently that I've been listening to. Something that they don't make a big deal of on the cover here or the movie posters is that it's only part 1. My wife turns to me at the end of the movie. I'm like, that was awesome. I love that. I've got to buy that. She's like, where's all the other songs? I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, that's only the first act of the play and of the musical. So come to find out, it is part 1. And a year from now, part 2, aka, hey Marilyn, Act 2 will be released, which I'm very looking forward to. So that's been a favorite. Also, let's see. I don't know if I have it here. The soundtrack to Nightmare Before Christmas, got for my birthday. That's been on repeat. I also got Indiana Jones, 2 Indiana Jones soundtracks. Those have been my favorites lately. And if you're new here, you're like, no Metallica? No Iron Maiden? No Pink Floyd? No Led Zeppelin? No Black Sabbath? No, I listen to different music than most people. I do have a rock section. Rock and pop share a section that's about half a crate, almost. But bulk of my music listening is soundtracks and jazz and classical, pop standards, orchestral music, Christmas music, big band music, Patsy Cline music, country music, musicals, kids records. I'm looking around. Peggy Lee music, Jackie Gleason. I'm not your average YouTube channel on vinyl. That being said, we unite. Even if you differ on music taste, we unite. Oh yeah, and Glenn Miller too. We unite on equipment and things. So, right, there you go. Act 81, 8113. So yes, let me see. Where have I? Oh, it's right here. Yes, I love it. And I don't know if you saw the post. This was a gift I got in the post, as they say this week. And it's a single. It is really cool. Really enjoying it. Really, really enjoying it. It's like a CD single. And I'm very grateful for it. Thank you very much. Check this out. Single. So it could have been, they could have fit this on a 3-inch disc if they wanted to. I love the gifts you guys send are always so generous. And that's okay. So what's on the rotation for CDs lately? So yeah, this is the top of the pile right now. I've been listening to this, critically listening to this. This is an import. It was, I wouldn't say it's a disappointment, but it's got all the music from, it's not a disappointment. It's really good. It's just, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's been good. I love the music from it's got some alternate versions that you can't find anywhere else, but it kind of feels, it's not well, I don't even know the licensing situation, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. I listen to that. That's a good one. This was a gift. I don't know if I posted this to the channel. Status Quo. This is an album. I thought this was a compilation, but I guess this is an album from like 2006. And as you can see, both discs are missing because they're in the changer. This has been a great album. I really, really like these guys. My dear friend in the UK has been so gracious, and one of the things that he did was share his passion for this group. And like I said, I'm not a big rock and roll guy. I love the Beatles. I have a Beatles section. That's another section I've got. And there are a handful of things I like. I have this. I always listen to this music, and I'm like, my audience would have no idea that I like this stuff. But I like 90s grunge too. Like I listen to Nirvana. I'll listen to Offspring. I'll listen to Oasis. I'll listen to Green Day, and the sort of early '90s grunge stuff that I didn't care for at the time, but now holds a strange nostalgia for me on CD, and I do love that. But I don't have the other ones on any form of physical media. I don't know if I would ever get them, but having them on streaming has been really nice. I just listen to it on repeat sometimes. So yeah, Jeremy. So I've got this soft spot in my heart for grunge too. My wife's like, "What are you doing? What are you listening to right now?" But anyway, so Status Quo, a great band that just never ever made it in the U.S. Their Matchstick Men song, '68, I think it was, did it, made some moderate success. But in the UK, these guys are huge, like Beatles huge, like mega huge. And they just wrapped up their final tour. And it's a fantastic band. Fantastic band. It's like it's just fun rock. It's kind of like in the vein of like Bruce Springsteen. You know what I mean? Family friendly rock. Blue Jeans rock. So anyway, that has been on the playlist. I love this CD set. This one I really, really love. So this is Bob Hope and Friends. Put it there, pal. It's a Jasmine release, double disc set. Why couldn't they do something besides plain white discs? But this has a lot of material with Bing Crosby, Dorothy Lamour, and others. Martha Raye, and there's even Kay Starr on here, Shirley Ross, and Judy Garland, among others. So some really great material. That's been there. This has been a real treat. One movie, if you're a fan of the road movies, I'm not going to show the DVD again because I've been showing it in like the last 7 lives. If you're a fan of the road movies with Dorothy Lamour, Bing Crosby, and Bob Hope, the last one they did in '62 was Road to Hong Kong. It's not it's the only one that's not on that CD. It has its own disc. This is a fairly recent release, and I didn't even realize it at the time, but it's got 2 movie soundtracks on here. Say One For Me is another movie. Check out this album cover. Doesn't that look cool? Was another movie with Bing Crosby and Robert Wagner, I think. Was it Robert Wagner? And they've got the music to that as well. But the packaging for the artwork for Road to Hong Kong is great. You can watch this movie for free on YouTube. And the soundtrack, by the way, super high fidelity, sounds beautiful. This movie was a surprise to me because it combines the classic buddy film elements of the road movies with spy, like a spy comedy, spy, Austin Powers, Dr. No, early James Bond vibe to it, where they're on a rocket ship. There's an underground layer and a Dr. Evil kind of guy gonna blow up the world. Very surprised. So give yourself a treat. Spend an hour and a half sometime, and just look for Road to Hong Kong on YouTube and watch it. Been listening to this still, Bing Crosby Gold Records. Put this on a couple of times, episode 1 soundtrack, and then this as well. It's a double disc Dorothy Lamour set, and it's a 2-disc set, so I've been enjoying that as well. So that's been the CD world. Interesting. Well, thank you for it. I super appreciate it. Jeremy Hobbs, thank you for moderating. You'll notice Jeremy has the wrench as a moderator, and also has the icon, the R, the purple R, because Jeremy is a member of the nation. There's a few folks I think that are in here that are part of the nation. Did I say that? Of the inner circle. Different channels membership group. Anyway, thank you very much for your support. If you want to join, exclusive emojis and stuff, it's like $1 a month. It's like 99 cents a month. There's links all over the place. Contemporary grunge revival and comeback. That would be something. That would be really something. Now, what's really weird is I remember hearing grunge and stuff like mid to like 94 to 97 ish, but I guess by 95 it was really down because it died off kind of before that. So I don't know if my musical memories are delayed. It was more of a like 89 to 94 kind of a thing, which is interesting. All right, so I've been listening to that. I also picked this up, being a Back to the Future fan. Back to the Future, the complete animated series on DVD, and this has been really, really fun. Well, sorry, the video's reversed. It's I think it's a 4-disc set. It was this 2-season Saturday morning cartoon, and it has live action intros with Christopher Lloyd, and they use some of the same voice talent, and it's been a blast watching those. So those are some of the things that I've been entertaining myself with lately. Oh, I have to show you this. Hold on a second. I know I'm a Back to the Future nerd. I just am. I love it. I picked up a couple of books. One of them is it's like a Hayes guide to, those Hayes like Chilton and Hayes have like those manuals to repair your car. They made one for the DeLorean, but it's so much more than that. It's like journals from Dr. Brown and all these. It's really cool. Really, really cool. But I also picked this up. Gray's Sports Almanac. I can't lose. This is a reproduction of the prop from Back to the Future 2, which I saw in the theater a couple of weeks ago. It was fantastic, one of my favorites. This is a very accurate, I guess, reproduction of Gray's Sports Almanac, the trusted authority since 1923. And as you know, this book that Marty buys in 2015 takes it back, or tries to take it back with it. Biff steals it because a doc made him throw it away. Biff steals this, steals the time machine, goes back to 1955, gets it to him. Hey, butthead. It says, you bet on this, you can't lose. That's creating the alternate timeline. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, watch Back to the Future. You should do that. I was blown away by how cheap this was. It was like $13 on Amazon. Then I found out why. If you look at the back, you will see that it says made in Orlando, Florida, November 18th, 2024. That's oddly specific, you may wonder. So Amazon is doing this print on demand thing. So a book like this, that's maybe not like a bestseller, more of a novelty. And this is the second time this has happened to me. They actually have the file digitally, and they don't make the book until you buy it. And I guess they're doing this with DVDs. Somebody was telling me that they're doing print-on-demand DVDs. So yeah, this is a paperback book. Now, what I wanted more than anything, besides it's a cool thing to put on the shelf, was to open it up. So let's open it up together. Is it going to be blank? Oh no, it's full of stats. And I thought this would be so cool to look at the actual stats. Now you'll notice on the back, there's a bit of this is a prop. It's definitely a prop. Football, baseball, hockey, golf, tennis, horse racing, slam ball, track, polo. Was slam ball a thing in 1950? Surfing, boxing, soccer, ping pong, darts, diving, ice skating, rodeo, racquetball, and more. Crammed with facts, figures, records, and statistics. This authoritative book gives you all the information you need to know to steal a time machine and go back. Well, come to find out, it actually, and there is a copyright thing in here, Universal Studios. It does have sports stats, but it doesn't have and it doesn't even have all the ones down here. It's only got football, badminton, NBA, baseball, and hockey. Oh, it does have horse racing. Oh, and it does have tennis. I think that's it. But wait, is there badminton too? Okay, so I do see some badminton. Interesting. So it's got more than I thought, but I don't think it has all of that. I don't see any slam ball, soccer, any of that. It kind of just repeats. And what's funny is even for football, like here's 1973. It shows like the standings, but it doesn't tell you who won the Super Bowl. Interesting. So, yeah, I've been geeking out. Record-ology gets a little birthday money, and geeky things like that start showing up. So Anyway, how about you guys? What's going on? Thanks for the link, everybody. Also, if you haven't done it already, go over and check out Mrs. Record-ology's page. She is at Rain's Place, and I am going to post a link unless somebody beats me to it. Somebody, if one of the mods or somebody can put a link in there, that would be good. Mark, welcome in. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well. Thank you so much. I am blessed. Mark, if you missed the first part of the show, I'm not going to repeat it, but been through a lot medically over the last year and have emerged victorious, and I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to my family, and I'm just very, very thankful this year. So thanks for being here. Jeremy's going ham on the links. Thank you, my friend. Jeremy, if you can post the link to Rain's Place, I'd appreciate it. Yes, Azzy Chan's asking for it too. Would very much appreciate you going over there and checking out her content as well. She works really hard on that stuff. So yeah, plans for today. Of all the family that have traveled in and out over the last year, and more travel is coming, which I'm looking forward to very, very much. Today is a non-travel day, and we don't have family here except for each other, and that's enough. So we are looking forward to spending the day together. And we're not even doing like a formal Thanksgiving dinner. It's weird. Just the stuff that used to mean so much, some of it doesn't have the same value. Like I don't feel as compelled to do all of the, how do I say this? After all that I've been through and that we've been through, because it's certainly not just me. It's probably harder for the family. My poor wife, I can't, an angel, an absolute angel, an absolute incredible person on levels that are just mind-boggling. But I don't feel the need to, like, I don't have to have a Thanksgiving dinner, if that makes any sense. I really am just thankful for just being here today. Whatever. I'll eat a ham sandwich, whatever. Not ham. Not allowed to have ham. I am literally restricted to, when it comes to proteins now, I can only have turkey, chicken, or fish. If I disobey that, I could become very ill very fast. In fact, on my birthday weekend, I had a pork roast. Was it a roast? Pork chop. It was a big pork chop, and I almost had to go back into the ER for it. So let us see. I'm going to find the link myself. For some reason, this link is tricky to find, and it's frustrating. Let's go here. We will find it together. And I will post it there, and if you guys can go over and subscribe, that would be awesome. Hey, look, Record-ology's live. All right, let's go down the list here. Dun, 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 dun. Found it. All right. Posting. Oh, Jeremy beat me. Thank you for posting it. Paul, thank you for the support, my friend. I appreciate it. The chat window is locked up for me, but as soon as I can scroll again, I'll be happy. Page is unresponsive. Okay, did I stop streaming? Can you guys still see me? Just give it a minute here. Hopefully I'm still live. I wonder if I tripped it up by opening a new tab. I think I might be having bandwidth issues right now. Am I still live? It says page unresponsive. Hold on a second. It says I'm still live. I have to watch a commercial to see my own live. Still here, it says. Okay, cool. I don't know why my portal is locked up like that. Yeah, okay, there's a delay. So yeah, let's try to. I got another show in the works. I've got a couple smaller products I need to review. I've got a pocket preamp. I've got a conversion thing, and then I've got some turntables stacked up that need reviewed. Looking forward to doing those as always, and not sure exactly. Probably the next day or two I'll do one of those. What else? What else? That's really the biggest thing right now. Good grief, why is this page doing this? Like, it's locked on my, like, I can't see any comments, and I see this warning sign coming up saying that the page is unresponsive. So maybe I can read the comments on my phone. Let's see if this is actually live still. I apologize for the delays in the video delays here and the glitchiness and the resolution issues. I know it's been a tricky one here, so we'll probably just wrap it up in a minute. Been on for an hour. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I hope and pray that folks that are celebrating this year are able to spend time with friends and family. Really focus on things that that you're grateful for, and know that I'm grateful for you. You matter, and you're not alone. And things are always on the rise. Things are always going to get better. Things are always going to improve. Keep your mind on gratitude. Don't think about tomorrow. Focus on the moment and fill your mind with positive thoughts. Because, like I said, your mind is always constantly trying to validate your belief system. So believe in good. And as my friend Lou Mangello over at the WDW radio channel says, choose the good. It's a choice. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here because of the difficulties with the stream. But happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Have a wonderful day. We'll be back with more content before you know it. And I don't know how to end this stream because the end button is also frozen. Exit page. I'm just going to cut the page. I don't know what's going to happen to the stream, but I love you guys.